Book Tuesdays. I've been away on vacation, so we're a little bit behind. So we're going to give you a bunch of new fiction and nonfiction today. We'll start off with our new fiction. First one, Good Night Forever by Jeffrey Fleischman. She got away once, but will LA detective Sam Carver killer Dylan Cross escape again? A Sam Carter novel. Good Night Forever. Next one, Mark Greaney, Armored, a novel. Josh Duffy is a warrior without a battlefield until one final mission comes his way in this electrifying thriller. Armored. Next one, Greenland, David Santos Donaldson, a dazzling literary debut. Kip Starling has locked himself in his Brooklyn basement study with a pistol and 20 gallons of Poland Spring. Publisher has given him 3 weeks to rewrite his book, and he must immerse himself in the mind of Muhammad El Adel, E.M. Forster's secret lover, who, like Kip, was black, queer, and other. Greenland. Next one, Thrust by Lydia Yuknovich. As rising waters in an encroaching police state endanger her life and family, a girl with the gifts of Harriers travels through water and time to rescue vulnerable figures from the margins of history. Thrust. Brother Alive, a novel by Zain Khalid. In 1993, boys are born, unrelated but intertwined by circumstances. Deo, Izul, and Yusuf. They are adopted as infants and share a bedroom perched atop a mosque in one of Staten Island's most diverse and underserved neighborhoods. The 3 boys are inseparable, an inseparable trio, but conspicuous. Brother Alive. Shifty's Boys, a Mick Hardin novel by Chris Offutt. Army CID agent, unofficial PI, Mick Hardin is up against unseen forces who will stop at nothing in this vividly atmospheric thriller. Shifty's Boys. Sounds like a 50s TV. Okay, next one, Lincoln Child's newest chrysalis. Like millions of people, Jeremy Logan has grown to rely on his incredible new tech device, the slim wearable unit called the Venture. Made by Chrysalis, the global multi-billion-dollar company, this small optical device connects people in a stunning new way, tapping into virtual reality for the first time on a wide scale. Chrysalis. Kaleidoscope, a novel by Cecily Wong. Everyone's heard of the Brightons, from rags to riches, sleepy Oregon to Haute, New York. They are the biracial Chinese-American family who built Kaleidoscope, a glittering shopping empire sourcing luxury goods from around the world. Kaleidoscope. Life Ceremony, short stories by Sayuka Morata. The long-awaited first short story collection by the author of the cult sensation Convenience Store Woman. With Life Ceremony, the incomparable Sayuka Morata is back with her first collection of short stories ever to be translated into English. In these 12 stories, Morata mixes an unusual cocktail of humor and horror, portraying both the loners and outcasts, as well as turning the norms and traditions of society on their head to better question them. Life Ceremony. Next one, The Dead Romantics, a novel by Ashley Poston. Florence Day is the ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead. The Dead Romantics. Next one, Augusta Hawke Mystery by G.M. Malayat. Augusta Hawke. Where are Nico and Zora Norman? Crime writer Augusta Hawke puts her sleuthing skills to the test to solve the mystery of her disappearing neighbors in the first entry in a new series. Next one, The Swift and the Harrier by Minette Walters. When bloody civil war breaks out between the king and parliament, families and communities across England are riven by different allegiances. Of rare few choose neutrality. One is such is Jane Swift, a doctor physician from a royalist family who offers her services to both sides in the conflict. The Swift and the Harrier. Next one, Hatchet Island, a novel by Paul Doran. A call for help from a former colleague leads Maine game warden investigator Mike Bowditch and his girlfriend Stacy Stevens on a sea kayaking trip to a research station far off the coast. Hatchet Island. Next one, The Second Husband by Kate White. After losing her husband Derek in what appears to have been a random street crime, 30-something Emma has built a new life with widower Tom, who is kind, handsome, and driven and successful. Emma is finally able to feel safe both in her relationship with Tom and in their home they've built together. Then one day, a homicide detective shows up at Emma and Tom's door asking questions. The Second Husband. Last one, Oleander City, a novel based on a true story by Matt Bondurant. In the wake of the 1900 Galveston hurricane, 3 lives converged despite persecution from the Ku Klux Klan, a bare-knuckle boxing match and gang gone wrong, and the recovery efforts of the American Red Cross. Like I said, based on a true story.
All right, and then for nonfiction, to start off with, we've got Life on a Nice Edge, a brain surgeon's reflections on life, loss, and survival, and that's from Dr. Rahul Jandil. Then we've got this book. It's called Spies on the Sidelines, the high-stakes world of NFL espionage, from Kevin Bryant. Spies disguised as priests, secret surveillance of targets' movements, radio frequency jamming, tapped telephones. These might sound like acts of espionage right out of the Cold War or a spy movie, but in fact came straight from the National Football League. So, sounds like a really cool book.
You never know what they're getting up to.
Next we have Good and Beautiful and Kind, Becoming Whole in a Fractured World. That's from Rich Villadas. Experience a life of calm presence within this divided, anxious culture. Got another book that sounds really interesting to me. It's called Agent Josephine, American Beauty, French Hero, British Spy. That's from Damian Lewis. Singer, actress, beauty spy. During World War II, Josephine Baker, the world's richest and most glamorous entertainer, was an Allied spy in occupied France. This takes a look at her story. Next, we've got a few gardening books. First one is The Gardener's Palette, Creating Color, Harmony in the Garden. That's from Joe Thompson. And then we've got The Ultimate Flower Gardener's Guide from Jenny Rose Carey, How to Combine Shape, Color, and Texture to Create the Garden of Your Dreams. And then our final gardening book, Flower Gardening for Beginners, A Guide to Growing and Maintaining a Cut Flower Garden, and that's from Amy Barine. All about how to grow and arrange your own flowers. Then we've got this book. It's called The Office BFFs, Tales of the Office from Two Best Friends Who Were There. That's by Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, who were both comedians and stars on The Office. We've got this biography from Katie Tur. It's called Rough Draft. From MSNBC anchor and New York Times bestselling author Katie Tur, a shocking and deeply personal memoir about a life spent chasing the news. And then the last book we've got today is Going Higher with God in Prayer, Cultivating a Lifelong Dialogue, and that is from A.W. Tozer.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today for New Book Tuesday, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.